Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator. And recently I was put in a position where I had to do a reinstallation, and I thought this was a good time to show you guys 10 aircraft that I believe that everyone should have in their hangar. If you are interested in acquiring any of my Overkills tutorial guides for Microsoft Flight Simulator, please consider joining me on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides, as well as any future updates and future guides that will be coming down the road. Link to Patreon can be found in the description below. Okay, my viewers, well, so here we are again. We're going to be going over a few aircraft that I think everybody should have in their simulator. I recently did a reinstallation. I try to do one about every 6 to 8 months because I review so many mods, add-ons, tools, and different integrations. It's nice to sort of clean the sim out. And this time, to be quite frank, I actually broke some things playing with settings that I probably shouldn't have been playing with, but that's what I do. So without any further delay, here is a list of a few aircraft in no particular order, no particular priority, just fun aircraft that I think you should all at least give a shot and have in your hangar. So first up on the list is actually the FlyByWire A320. I'm sure this is a very popular aircraft by now and everybody knows about it, but even if you are someone who does not typically fly commercial aircraft, this is a great one to learn on. There are so many YouTube tutorials and guides out there, PDF tutorial guides, screenshots, the documentation that comes directly from FlyByWire, YouTube videos. Even on my channel, there's a ton of YouTube videos to really walk you through the steps of flying the FlyByWire A320. Now, here's the advantage to this particular aircraft. The advantage is the aircraft has been built based on the default model and completely turned into something that is absolutely in a world of its own, darn near a fully functional A320. Now, this aircraft is a complete fly-by-wire aircraft, hence the name from the fly-by-wire company. And so it offers a lot of simplicity for the user just getting into commercial aircraft. Now, that's not to say it doesn't have its challenges and confusing points, but again, that's where those tutorials and guides come in very, very handy. It is a great stepping stone into the commercial simulation world if you guys want to go that route. The fly-by-wire A320 does far more than just enhance the systems. It enhances the textures, the sounds, the automation, and the displays, adding features that by far were not included with the default A320. You will talk to anybody who has flown the fly-by-wire A320. They are probably just like me and can no longer even set foot in the default A320 because the experience is that lacking in comparison. So I want to make sure you guys are all very, very aware of the fly-by-wire A320 and what it brings to the simulation world. It is a completely free modification. This aircraft is completely free to anyone who chooses to fly it, as long as you own Microsoft Flight Simulator and have the default A320 available. Actually, I'm not even sure the default A320 is required anymore because it's self-installation now. But anyway. Very, very awesome aircraft with a ton of resources to learn how to fly it, and a great stepping stone into the commercial airline operation. Next up on the list today is none other than my beloved TBM 930. Now, the TBM 930 is an incredibly fun aircraft to fly. Now, it does come with the standard and deluxe versions of Microsoft Flight Simulator. However, what I'm more referencing in today's video is the TBM 930 Improvement Mod. The TBM 930 Improvement Mod adds a few features, but more importantly, brings the aircraft's performance closer to real-world accuracy. The TBM 930, if you guys have not tried this one out yet, is an absolutely fun aircraft to fly. It's like a Lamborghini in the sky. I use that reference very, very commonly when flying this plane. The interior textures are absolutely gorgeous. It just has that very luxurious feel to it, with a ton of performance added with the aircraft. It can climb all the way up to 31,000 feet. It's great for the long hauls, the short hauls, the puddle jumps. It's just a ton of fun to fly. It's a very, very good aircraft that also brings you some of that general aviation mixed with the commercial performance. Obviously not quite as far or high as some of the commercial airliners, but it is a very nice stepping stone into that realm. Again, it offers that ability to still go up very, very high and still travel long distances while maintaining the general aviation feel. So definitely make sure that you guys check out the link down in the description below that will give you guys the latest update for the TBM 930 improvement mod, which offers Sim Update 9 compatibility. Many people think the project is dead. It is not. It is being supported by the community at the moment. The original developer, Mixmugs, unfortunately is part of the chaos and unfortunate events that are happening over in Ukraine. So hopefully that conflict will come to a resolution very soon. And please keep Mixmugs and everyone over there in your prayers and keep their safety at the top of your minds. So again, the link to the current mod is down in the description below. I am aware that as of the beta 10, it does seem as if the mod is broken. But with the community the way it is, I'm sure that somebody will be able to pick this up and keep the project moving until Mixmugs is able to return and keep working on our beloved aircraft. The M20 Moody from Coronado is actually one of my other favorite aircraft. You guys should hear this a lot. It really depends on what you're doing. It is my go-to aircraft currently in Neofly, which I cannot wait to get back to. The Moody offers a great sense of obviously general aviation aircraft, and yet has a bit more to it. She has a ton of spunk, quite a bit of power, is a dream to fly, and the darn thing even has speed brakes, which, let me tell you, they work and work great. The aircraft just offers a bit of nostalgia to it, as it is primarily steam gauge, as you can see here. Very limited LCD displays, which I think is one of the more drawing factors to it for me. Coronado brings a beautiful aircraft with a very, very decent flight model and flight characteristics to the aircraft. The aircraft will definitely keep you on your toes, and in my opinion, it is absolutely a must-have for anyone who enjoys the general aviation flight in Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's just a really awesome low-wing aircraft. I can't ever get enough of this thing. Once you get rolling with it and you really get started with it, it's actually a bit on the tricky side to fly. You tend to make, at least if you're like me, you'll make a few mistakes along the way. I still make them to this day. But once you start becoming one with the aircraft, if you will, everything just sort of starts to smooth out. You develop this bond with it. It's just, I know it sounds crazy, but trust me, it's one of those aircraft you really do want to give a shot. Yes, it is a payware aircraft, but I promise it is worth every dime that you spend on it. Then there is the incredible Milviz Cessna 310. This aircraft offers so many features and so much realism and so many different avenues that you can take while flying this aircraft or using it in a career that is just astounding to me. Now, I know that they are not the first or only ones to take part in this particular kind of methodology, but this aircraft has the ability to not only just be a general aviation flyer that we use on a daily basis, but it actually has the ability to store your features from the previous flight. It also has the abilities to configure it as if it was a rental. Gosh, I can't talk this morning. There's just so much that this plane can do. It can remember your state from the previous flight. You can treat it like as if it's a career aircraft or a rental. There's just a ton of different options, not to mention the incredibly challenging flight characteristics that are offered with this particular flight model. Now, I am no pilot, so when I say flight model and I speak to the quality of a flight model, I can only speak to the difficulty and how it feels from someone without the flight experience. And I can tell you that this aircraft feels far more real than many of the other general aviation aircrafts that I've ever flown. I do have some real-world flying experience. I just am not a pilot myself. My dad used to actually have his pilot's license, is where that comes from. So I've flown Cessna 172s, 182s, even got a chance to actually fly and handle a Katana at one time. But the Cessna 310 offers just about everything that you could be looking for in a general aviation aircraft. This aircraft is absolutely just fully featured. The details that were put into the creation of the aircraft, the flight model, the way it behaves. If you step out of line with this aircraft, it lets you know very, very quickly, and the documentation that comes with the aircraft is extremely thorough as well. Milviz puts out an amazing product, and this will not be the only aircraft from Milviz that we will be discussing today. I have truly just been head over heels for all of the planes that they have put out thus far. But the Cessna 310, I think, was a very long-awaited aircraft. It was one of those aircraft that really met the needs of what Microsoft Flight Simulator was looking for, I think, as far as having, again, bringing that old nostalgia back, having the steam gauges, having the high detail textures with a great flight model, with a feature-rich opportunity on the back end to really tweak the aircraft and turn it into something that you truly quote unquote own in the simulator, again giving that ability to really add some customization and some feeling of immersion when you come back to the plane from a previous flight and see it in the same condition that you left it in before. It has a ton of capability and features with this aircraft. I highly recommend you guys check this one out. Again, that's going to be milviz.com. A link to their website will be down in the description below, and from there you can access all of their aircraft that we will be discussing in today's video. Definitely a competitor of the Cessna 310 is the FlySimware Chancellor 414. Now, this aircraft, again, is absolutely fantastic, and I think there's a lot of debate around the community on as far as which one is better, whether it be the Cessna 310 or the 414. Now, it offers many of the same great, fantastic features. There are multiple variants of this aircraft, everything from the GTN 530 all the way up to the 750. As far as the avionics suites, and all of those are chosen just directly from the livery selection menu, so you have a ton of different aircraft that you can choose from. And again, this aircraft offers a ton of realism, a ton of fully featured avionics and different flight characteristics that are involved with the aircraft. It's obviously a bit older than the 310, as you can see, but again, that fantastic texturing, that fantastic flight model, that fantastic feeling when you're flying it, and then having a complete arsenal of variations to pick from based on simply choosing the livery. It is an incredible aircraft, absolutely well done, and I will say that this is definitely the most rapidly updated aircraft currently in Microsoft Flight Simulator. There are updates that are coming out from this aircraft, if not once a month, at least twice a month sometimes, and sometimes more depending on what the scenario is. So it is an absolute dream to fly. It is very, very challenging, while bringing in that general aviation feeling to the experience. The sounds are great, the performance is great, the price is great. The developers are obviously very clearly continuing a ton of work on this particular aircraft, and I highly, highly recommend that you guys add this one on board as well. And then let me know what your preference is, whether it be the 310 or the 414. Let's start the debate. Next up on our list, we are returning to the MilViz section of the flights today, and we are back with the FG1D Corsair from MilViz. This aircraft is so much fun to fly. It offers a ton of realism and authenticity, and just overall challenge with the aircraft. Is extremely challenging to fly, and yet very, very rewarding once you nail it. Landings and takeoffs absolutely keep you on your toes, and then the overall cruise and experience. If you're not watching your engine temps, watching your carburetors and everything, then you're gonna get a nice splash across your windshield. At the same token, it offers so much nostalgia, and the sounds on it are absolutely fantastic. You even have the option of live fire ammunition coming out of it. It doesn't do anything. No, there's no damage model. No, you can't go blowing things up, thank goodness. But the overall experience of just flying the aircraft is so much fun. It is one of my go-tos when I just want to put on the VR headset and sort of just go cruise around and go sightseeing and just listen to the sounds and get immersed with the aircraft. This is definitely my go-to. It is so nice having this plane. I highly recommend this one. This is definitely on the my top 10 list. If I were to make one, the Corsair would definitely hit that list. It's very cool to fly. I don't know how else to describe it, especially when you're just talking about flight simulation. It's one of those experiences you just have to grab on your own, but very, very well done. And again, I think just the idea of being able to imagine yourself back in an aircraft that's what are we at now, 65 years old, 66 years old, somewhere around there. It's a really badass plane, guys. I highly suggest you guys check this one out. All right, my friends and followers, that's going to do it for today's video. Now, again, this is all following a reinstallation, so there's going to be many more to come as I start bringing them in. What I'm sort of doing is I'm kind of prioritizing, if you will, as I'm doing my reinstall. I'm thinking of, which aircraft do I need to get? I need to make sure I get this one back in, right? So the ones that are really popping in my head that I'm going, I miss you, are the ones that I'm doing the recording on, because, that's where I get the emotional attachment from and that desire to fly them. And so I figured those are the aircraft that I would share with you guys. We'll also be doing the same thing with scenery, and we'll be doing the same thing with any of my mods, tools, and add-ons that I've referenced in the past. I hope you guys enjoy this series. This will be the next probably 3 or 4 videos videos until I complete the installation process and feel like my sim is back where I want it to be. So again, hopefully you guys find some useful tips. Hopefully you find some useful mods, tools, and aircraft. And as always, stay safe and healthy. I'll see you in the next one.